shit tonight. That'd be easy work too. Badu Jack, I want everybody. Anthony Joshua, Gervonta, and Tommy.
This ain't a drill. Jake Paul just went 12 full rounds with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And guess what? He didn't just survive, he dominated. But while the world's still buzzing over Jake's biggest win yet, there's someone else watching with a smirk on his face. Gervonta "Tank" Davis. And he's not impressed. Because just hours after Jake had his hand raised, Tank made it crystal clear. He only needs one round to put an end to the Jake Paul experiment. That's right. While Jake's celebrating a career-defining win, Tank is plotting a legacy-defining knockout.
Chapter 1's done tonight. Now we're moving into Chapter 2, and I'm just getting warmed up in this sport. But people hold the Tommy Fury thing against me, but what now? I just beat a former world champion, and I'm coming to avenge that loss as well with Tommy.
Let's break it all down. The fight was billed as Jake Paul's toughest test. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the former WBC middleweight champ, the son of a Mexican legend, and a seasoned pro with dozens of fights under his belt. On paper, this was supposed to be the humbling moment, the one that finally put Jake back in his lane. But that's not what happened.
This is going to be the toughest fight of his career, the most embarrassing fight of his career. He's going to be exposed.
Julio, que te va a romper tu madre, güey. Más.
I don't think so.
My man thinks he's not gonna beat him up.
How do you think this fight plays out?
You know, I break him down, you know. He's always the young man, the stronger guy in the ring. So for the first time, I want to put him back, make him work, you know, extra work.
Round 1 started like a chess match. Jake kept distance with the jab. Chavez stayed compact, looking for inside angles. A few slick uppercuts from Chavez made it clear this wasn't Tyron Woodley or Nate Diaz. Jake had to be sharp. And to his credit, he was.
Oh, big right from Paul. And you can see the red markings now on the face of Chavez Jr.
By round 3, Jake had found his rhythm. The right hand started landing clean. Chavez Jr. looked slower, almost confused by Jake's timing. The body shots were crisp. The head movement, better than anyone expected. Jake was clearly in control.
You're coming off a huge win, unanimous decision. Please tell us, how are you feeling?
I feel good. That was definitely a really good performance. I got to showcase some skills against a former world champion. He's very tough. I don't know how these guys take these shots, but respect to him.
Did Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. give you the fight that you thought he'd give you?
Yeah, for sure. He came hard in the end, even harder than I expected. Like I said, he's a tough Mexican warrior, former world champion, so all credit to him.
And tell me, what is next for Jake Paul?
Everything and anything. The world is my oyster. Anything I dream, I will achieve.
And how are we going to celebrate?
And I'm going wake surfing and getting fucked up.
From rounds 4 to 8, Jake was schooling Chavez. He wasn't just landing punches. He was breaking Chavez's will. The crowd could feel the shift. Chavez Jr., once thought to be too skilled and too experienced, had nothing left in the tank. By the final bell, Jake wasn't even breathing heavy. The judges gave it to him wide, and rightfully so.
Solid B+ type of performance. Let's go into the ring in Big Mode.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Judge Steve Weisfeld sees it 99-91. Judge Rudy Barragan sees it 97-93, and Judge Max DeLuca sees it 98-92, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Jake El Dorado
No surprise there as Jake Paul wins for the 12th time as a pro, and of course there's the product placement. No one does that better than Jake, that's for sure. Well,
Jake Paul just beat a real boxer, and the internet lost its mind. But while fans were celebrating Jake's arrival, Gervonta Davis was already loading up the receipts.
He did say in the post-fight press conference, I had someone that I was going to call out. And then someone asked him, Shakur, and he said, no, someone who came into my locker room. But all the sleuths don't know who came into his locker room.
Some people do.
There's only one name that people are bringing up.
Don't you dare.
There's only one.
Don't you
I'm
dare.
not the
I
one.
ain't got time for this.
There's only one name that people are bringing up.
I don't have time
and
for
you
this.
know who it is.
I do know who it is. I'm not having Jake Paul.
El Gallo. El Gallo de Dorado. El Gallo, is this...
You know what I will say?
Yeah.
If I'm Jake Paul and...
Jake Paul cruiserweight.
Yeah, against Devontae 150.
40, okay, yeah,
150,
right.
eating a bit.
Yeah.
If I'm Jake Paul and the Jake Paul-Canelo fight was taken from me like that, the only way to go bigger is Gervonta Jake Paul.
To Tank, the Chavez fight didn't prove Jake was elite. It proved he was beatable. See, Tank didn't watch that fight and feel fear. He watched it and saw opportunities.
Final round, Chavez is smelling blood. He's trying to go for it. He's waited the whole fight to do this, the whole 10 rounds. But Jake Paul is still piecing them up. I don't think he's swinging, he misses, he's hitting. He's got a stiff jab. That's probably a whiplash claim.
30 seconds to go.
That is probably a whiplash claim right there. Oh, he hit him in the back.
Chavez won a lot of his fans back tonight with these last 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think it's over. Last 12 seconds. Jake Paul's still throwing. He's on the back foot, but...
Right hand from Chavez. Jake will fight back.
I think it's...
Yeah. Chavez Jr. right at the bell.
And it's all over.
He gave us a show at least for 6 minutes.
We've got Jake Paul winning at least 8 rounds.
He saw Jake take too many clean shots. He saw the defensive lapses. He saw the footwork flaws that Chavez couldn't capitalize on. But Tank definitely would.
Have your opinions on him changed?
You know, he's a strong, good boxer. The first 3-4 rounds. After that, I feel tired him. So I don't think he's ready for the champions, but he's a good fighter. So.
And then he made his feelings known. I just need 1 round. It wasn't cockiness. It was a calculation. Because when you look at what Tank brings to the table versus what Jake showed against Chavez, that matchup suddenly looks a lot more dangerous for Jake than he might think.
Is Jake Paul still trying to convince people that he's a legitimate boxer? He's not a legitimate boxer. You've picked someone who was a professional boxer, whose dad was a legend of professional boxing. You might as well pick someone from Love Island or something.
Before taking a deeper dive into Davis versus Paul, let's see what the pros are making of Jake's performance against Chavez Jr. Let's not forget who we're talking about here. Gervonta Davis isn't just a knockout artist. He's one of the most explosive finishers in boxing. Fast hands, elite timing, vicious power. He's slept guys way bigger than him before.
Skill for skill, none of these guys can mess with me. Like, nobody. Like, I feel like my skills is way better than, like, Floyd. Like, if I'm on my game. You feel? Well, yeah, I take that back. Probably hand in hand. But skill-wise, nobody on TV that's fighting right now have more skills than me. Nobody. Like, talking about top to bottom list of fighters that's fighting on TV.
Yes, Jake has the size. Yes, he has the reach. Yes, he's the naturally bigger man. But this isn't a game of inches. It's a game of seconds. And Tank only needs a split second to change everything.
Tank Davis. Bad dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer. George was a puncher. Ernest Chavez was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, like, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's like, I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but I think when they bring challenges, he locks in.
Yeah, he fights to the level of his competition.
Yes,
He was doing that a lot.
And he got to be careful of that.
2 fights ago, he was really doing that.
You feel me? So you got to be careful of that because if you come in and think somebody is not at your level and you underestimate them, it can get you beat. So that's the only thing I think you got to be careful of. Other than that, Tank is a really good fighter.
Jake leaves his chin up just one time the way he did in the 7th round against Chavez. That's a nap. If Chavez Jr. had the same kill switch Tank does, that fight would have been over at the halfway point.
Now, you called out Canelo in the ring. Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Now here's the twist. This fight, it's way more dangerous for Tank than people want to admit.
Tank's super skilled, even though he's smaller than Jake.
It's like you with Mayweather. When you beat Mayweather, you were way bigger than Mayweather. That's why you won.
First person to beat him in history, and he still didn't pay me. Allegedly, in my opinion. Fuck off.
Because Jake Paul isn't just a YouTuber anymore. He's a 200-pound athlete with real power, real timing, and real discipline. His cardio has improved. His combos are tighter. His confidence? Sky high after beating Chavez Jr.
Tank was looking past Roach, and he wanted that Jake Paul fight, which I think Jake Paul would have beaten. Jake is way too big. Tank is 5'5", 135, soaking wet. Y'all think Tank is too small for 140. He ain't beating no heavyweight. I'm not joking. I don't think he would have hurt Jake. He would have to jump up to reach. I don't think he would have hurt him. I tell you this, it would have gone the distance, and people would have been laughing their asses off, and it wouldn't have been good for Tank's brand. I tell you that. That fight would have went the distance. Soon as 5'5" Tank is looking at a 6'2", 6'3" Jake Paul, y'all would be like, hold, wait a second. And Jake Paul be on spread out paws with that arm out and stepping back. And bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. But that's a cat. Fine. We'll never get to fight anyway. So we'll never know.
This isn't Floyd versus Logan, where Floyd carried a clumsy social media star for 8 rounds and got a bag. Jake Paul is younger, sharper, and meaner. He's not here to go viral. He's here to win. And when you're Tank Davis, a guy walking around at 140 pounds max, stepping into a ring with someone built like a linebacker isn't just risky, it's borderline reckless.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you are saying, you want Tank hurt, Chavez. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
Let's talk numbers for a second. Jake walks around at 200 plus pounds. He fought Chavez Jr. at cruiserweight. Tank? He's a lightweight. The last time he fought above 140 was never. That's a 50-pound gap.
After Canelo, obviously, didn't materialize, was the next one Tank?
Yeah. I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching, like, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that like we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure.
Now, imagine Tank trying to knock out a dude with that kind of mass. Imagine Tank getting hit with a looping right hand from a guy who trains to knock out heavyweights. Tank's skill might be elite, but physics don't lie. Power travels up. Speed and timing, not always enough.
I would love to see Tank fight Jake Paul. I would love to see Tank show how unskilled he is and too small for the unexperienced Jake Paul, who would be too big for him, pause, and use his size and beat the fuck out of Tank. He always tweet about, type about, got something to say, like he really running shit, but he stays little ass at that lightweight class, but being a bigger, smaller dude that can only beat the smaller dudes. And unfortunately, I would love to see the Tank fans looks on their face as they pull a mask off and all the rabies and all the disinfection disease, they've been clogged up their brains and their ears and shit over the years watching Jake Paul beat the fuck out of the small version of the wannabe hype job that's not skilled enough to use his size and speed. I want the fight. They both fight in the same lane. They content creators. They circus acts and stuff, so Tank would be right up his alley fighting a Jake Paul. I'm for it. So let's push for the fight. I got Jake Paul beating the tall shit out of Tank because Tank's not skilled enough to actually beat Jake Paul.
And this is what makes the Tank versus Jake fight so crazy. It's not just a money grab. It's actually a dangerous fight for both guys. Let's be real. This isn't about belts. It's not about legacy. This is about the bag.
But for me, go get the money. It's right there. The bag is right there. Go get it. I would go get the money because these fights are going to always be there. These boxers are always going to be there to fight because none of them are making the type of money that you're making. Not saying they're not making the money, but they aren't making Canelo and Tank money. Let's be clear.
Floyd did it. Conor did it. And now Tank wants his turn. Because love him or hate him, Jake Paul brings in views. Tank knows a fight with Jake could bring in $50 million plus if promoted right. It's Netflix numbers, viral moments, crossover chaos.
Is it true that you made $170 million from this fight?
I made a lot of money, the most money I've made ever.
60 million households, Jake.
250 million people.
Bro, that is so
It's all downhill
crazy.
from here.
No, for sure.
I peaked.
So, of course he's interested. But here's the problem. Tank still has unfinished business. Before Jake, there's Roach, Lamont Roach Jr. And if Tank's not careful, Jake won't be the guy to ruin his legacy. Roach will.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Javante, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Javante that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled him. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Remember, Roach almost beat Tank in their first fight. Some say he did beat him. That controversial 9th round, the knockdown that wasn't called, it could have changed everything.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre, that shit was burning my eye, so I cut that off.
Tank barely escaped with a draw, and since then, Roach has been locked in, focused, sharpening every weapon for the rematch. But Tank? He's tweeting at Jake, filming press conferences, talking about one-round KOs. That's not a good sign. Ask any pro, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, even Frank Martin. They'll tell you, Tank's biggest mistake isn't fighting Jake. It's assuming Roach is an easy stop on the way there.
How you think the one coming up with
I
Tank
hope he
and
don't
Roach?
fight Lamar, actually. Like, I hope he don't get in the ring with him again. Because at the end of the day, if he lose, it's just going to look bad on the fight with me. So, it's going to look like somebody else already did it. I want
You want Tank to knock you out, yo.
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I heard him say before. I heard him say, like, yo, I want to fight Tank, and that's nice, but why do you want Tank to knock you out so bad? Like,
Look. That sound good. That sound real good, but he's too little.
Too little.
I promise you he's too little.
And you better believe Jake wants this win more than anything, because while people were clowning him for fighting retired UFC guys, this fight is different. This is a legit top 10 boxer. This is Jake's chance to shut everyone up.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself. And the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer. He never will be. And he proves time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
He's seen how Tank fought against Roach. He's seen the holes. And now, fresh off a dominant win over Chavez Jr., Jake's confidence is through the roof. He's calling Tank out by name, posting highlights, talking slick, saying all the right things. But behind the bravado, Jake knows this fight could define his entire boxing legacy.
What do you think of Jake Paul wanting to fight against Tank Davis, Gervonta?
Man, it's so stupid that comments, you know, like, you wanna fight Joshua, you wanna fight, Joshua, you wanna fight, Gervonta, you wanna fight, Usyk, you wanna fight, I don't know, after 28, so maybe never fight again.
Saying I just need one round sounds cool on Twitter, but in the ring, that mindset can get you KO'd. Because if Tank goes in hunting for one perfect shot instead of boxing smart, Jake's power becomes a real problem. And the scary part? We've seen Tank get emotional before. We've seen him throw game plans out the window. If he treats this like a Floyd Logan type circus match, he's done.
When he fought Lamont, it was like he was there, but he wasn't like there for real. Like when you watch all his other fights, you can see like his eyes just look different. When he walked into the ring with Lamont, it was just like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because you heard in the press conferences, he was just saying he was just real irritated. He didn't really seem like
He just felt like I think he just trained just to get by. I think he trained to just do 12 rounds. You know what I mean? The Tink that I know, the kid that you punch him in the face, he go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if I'm down on the scorecards, I'm gonna go out and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it that fight, and I understand it too. When us as fighters, when you get to a certain point in life, sometimes you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Jake Paul is not a clown. He's not just a payday. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.